Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We're streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to your Facebook page, look us up, or you can hit see first to see and hear all the great programs that we have here on WNHHLP. And Cannabis Corner is also streaming live on the Greenhaven Media Facebook and YouTube, and also procannabismedia.com. Make sure you go like, subscribe, and share everything we got going on at Greenhaven Media. Well, it is Monday, September the 9th, 2024. We're in the beginning of fall. Welcome to Cannabis Corner. I'm your host, Joe LaChance, Joe the Weed Guy, and I am joined here, as usual, by the one and only Farmer Lou, Uncle Lou Vega. How are you today?
How's it going, good brother? I'm doing very well, Today's actually my daughter's birthday, so happy birthday to my daughter.
Happy birthday to you.
I have a teenager now, so
you must be the luckiest guy on earth.
Hey, it's a beautiful thing.
So
we had a weekend full of activities and such. How's your weekend? How was your weekend, Joe, Kristen? How's everything going with you guys?
Well, I had a nice weekend. Speaking of birthdays, it was my sister's birthday. So we took a ride, my brother and I took a ride up to upstate New York, actually a little town called Guilderland, and we hung out with my sister. So that was very nice.
It's beautiful up there, Joe. It's absolutely beautiful.
It was gorgeous, gorgeous weather. It was very nice to see my family. We made a stop on the way in Massachusetts, stopped at a little store up there. It was very good, and I got to say, that was the first time visiting a dispensary of that size. And man, we got a long way to go here. A long way to go. They are miles ahead of us as far as in every way. Every way.
There's plus and minuses. You can say space and the cost of real estate is cheaper. You can go into the idea that flower is grown in different styles, vertical integrations. There's also a lot more competition, and there's an issue with dispensaries not paying their bills. But,
so there may be too many of them. That could be the problem. But what I was talking about more was the presentation and the selection, for sure. Selection was miles above what we have, and the pricing. But you're right, Lou, as far as the industry goes, there's issues. There is issues. But we enjoyed the products we bought. We actually, I actually picked up one of those Rove, if you remember that young lady we met in Cannabrand. I picked up one of her pre-rolls and enjoyed that on our way to New York. So it was a good time.
Marketing for the win. See?
Yeah.
We got brand loyalty out of an event. That was the whole idea of the Cannabrand, to be able to connect brands and individuals. So you got up there, you saw somebody you knew, you got to buy one of the products. And so that's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to do that. I was glad to be able to support her after talking to her and interviewing her. She's very nice. And so it was good. Matter of fact, I saw a couple of the products up there. Matter of fact, I don't know if I saw Andy's, but I saw a couple of the products that were at that same event. I think Fernway had some products in there. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But just the presentation and everything was definitely different, a different experience than a Connecticut dispensary. I did want to stop at a New York dispensary, but there were really none on the way. So I'll have to do that another time. But it's interesting. I like going to other states and seeing what they have to offer. So, and the quality was very good. Very, very good.
Nice.
Yeah. So how about you, Kristen? What's going on in the corner?
What is going
Kristen
on?
Souza. Here she is, the second co-host.
Yeah.
Kristen Souza, how are you today?
I am good. So I guess it was an event we talked about previously. I did hit up one thing over the weekend. So on Saturday, I went over to Meriden to visit Gabe over at Metatron Homegrown. It's been a year, so it was
Oh.
like their 1 year anniversary of having the Homegrown store over in Meriden, and he had kind of a customer appreciation event going on with raffles, giveaways. He had a nice smorgasbord of Neil's donuts. There was someone there selling clones, some glass blowing. So he had really good turnout. I swung by with Brianna for about 20 minutes and steady flow of people. So it was nice kind of seeing someone that, we're friends with, friends of the show, kind of doing his thing. And seemed like there was a good community turnout for that. So congratulations on your 1 year anniversary.
Shout out to Gabe. He's
Yeah.
he's the guy who tried to get cannabis into the Durham Fair. You got
Right
to
on.
give him credit. So that's an envelope pushing thing.
Mhm.
So you got to give the guy credit, and he's doing a good job up there. I really like Gabe. And I
Yeah,
like
no, he's doing a good job. I saw Rebecca from Expo Canna over there. So he definitely had some folks swinging by, and he's doing good things. Love to see it.
And I want to give a shout out to Connecticut and PZ for they had their blunt rolling event. It looked like a real good time. I saw our friend Jason Ortiz made it up. I'm sorry I couldn't make it, but I was in upstate New York. So that makes it a little bit difficult. But yeah, it looks like they had a good time. Congratulations to the winner. And hopefully we can make the next one.
Absolutely. Good segue on that too, because I talked to Kevin either last night or this morning. So for those of y'all that are not familiar, Connecticut's a lifestyle apparel brand and they do events. They have something called the Jacket Club where they have these semi-customized kind of corduroy jackets with patches from the brand. Yeah, you've got one. So he was saying they've got a few left. So there's a handful of jackets left in various sizes, or if you have a jacket that you already own, they can kind of, his words, not mine, they can bedazzle it for you. But they're going to be doing some events through the end of this year and early next year that are very specific to folks that are part of their jacket club. So if that's something you're interested in,
events.
So, I'm sucked in by that.
I didn't know I didn't know I could talk about them. I know about these events.
I'm not saying anything specific. I'm just saying buy a jacket.
You're right.
But yeah, right on.
But you're definitely right. There is actually one coming up soon. And yeah, it's very cool. I did supply my own jacket. I want to be in
the cool kids club.
We'll get a jacket and they'll fix it up for you.
Well, with the bedazzling, now I'm going through my closet. I'm like, so who's going to be doing the bedazzling? Is it John? Is it Tony?
They do have a seamstress who does it for them, and I forgot her name, but they did a great job.
Kylie.
Yeah.
They're great. She did a great job. My jacket looks great. I love it. I wear it out whenever, and I'm glad fall's coming. I'll have a chance to wear it more now.
No, totally. Very cool. Until we had this conversation, Lou, you right on. I totally forgot Kylie did that for them. She's great.
Yep.
No, we had the conversation, and Kevin and I'm a little bit large for the size that they.
No, you got to get your own, Lou.
So have them bedazzle one.
Yeah, just take one you already got that you like.
He was like,
have them put the stuff on it. There you go.
He goes, Lou, you're a bigger guy than. I said, yeah, my chest is a little bit wider than. I wear a very uncommon 50 wide chest, so it's
like a specialty.
It's a big boy suit jacket.
I'm going to keep my eye out for one for you.
Yeah,
Lou.
You know what? They're not that bad because every place I go, the corduroy, I stop over corduroy smoker style jackets for my size are always on sale, and I have to get a custom size because it's not because of the belly. I have a big belly.
It's the chest. Yeah, I know you're upper. Not only your shoulders too; they're huge.
My neck, my back, my chest is, they got big back. So I get them tailored in. They bring the
teenager slang right there.
Hey, somebody's. I got a 13-year-old daughter. Somebody's got to make sure boys are scared. So.
I know that. I see you've been preparing for this time. This is why my daughter's turning 13. I gotta go. I gotta make sure I can scare these guys.
No, I go to, like I said, I'm an active member of the PTA. I go to all the school trips. Everybody's like, "Wow, Mr. Vega, you lift every one of those lunches with one arm." I'm like, I carry the lunch bags and the school supplies. And you're like, put it on
your
Mr. Vega's back. It's all right.
As
Hey,
opposed to me doing
there's
like
going to be
the
benefits to
47
having a
bag.
very strong body physique. There's definitely benefits to do it. You start young, and then that way you don't wither away when you get old.
I'm withering.
It's the whole. We're getting up there, Joe, and I want to. You go to the gym, you do it, you make sure
I
to
do
keep
it. I go to the
you
gym.
know.
You got to. You got to keep.
So
This is your only. This is your only
slip, trips, and
body.
falls. Slip, trips, and falls. Right.
Yep. This is your only
And
body.
rolling out of bed.
And rolling out of bed. Right. Exactly.
And I
right,
set myself up for this stuff.
So
That
what
may
do
or
we
may
got
not
going
have
on
happened.
this week? What do we got going on in the next couple of weeks for events?
A handful of things, actually. It feels like September was filling up quick. So I've got a handful I wanted to mention, kind of in calendar order here. So on Wednesday, the 11th, there's going to be a puff and paint over at Better Ways in Brantford. It's facilitated by C Creations. It starts at 6 o'clock, and they'll be having mocktails, snacks, and then everything you need as far as the supplies to do the paint night. So tickets are still available. You can go to Better Ways website, or you can check out C Creations on Instagram and sign up to do that. But like I said, that is on Wednesday at 6 o'clock in Brantford.
She does
So
great
that's
events.
kind of a fun one. Yeah, I love
She's
those.
been doing them all over the place too, so it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are fun. They're still super fun. And then the following day, Thursday, there are a couple of nonprofit events. So on Thursday evening, the Connecticut Cannabis Small Business Alliance has its community meeting. This one's virtual, so there's a Zoom link available, and it's at 7 o'clock p.m. So all folks are welcome to attend. You do not have to be, sitting on the board or anything like that to go to the community meetings. They're fully open to the community just to learn about what the board is doing, events going on in the state. And some of the members and board members will speak on various initiatives or projects that they're involved in. So that's a really great thing to attend.
Great.
And there is also, same day, Thursday the 12th, the Connecticut Cannabis Chamber of Commerce is having their annual Business Expo and Awards ceremony. So it's called Together We Grow. It's going to be at Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater in Bridgeport, and that goes from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 o'clock at night. So
Right.
tickets are available on their website. Just go to CT Cannabis Chamber, and you can, reserve
And
your
we
spot.
will be there. It is confirmed.
Excellent. Love it.
Greenhaven Media, the whole crew, all three of us will be there, along with Ryan, our cameraman and editor. We're going
Amazing.
to be shooting some video,
We're fancy. We got a videographer. I love it.
do. Shooting some video, some interviews, some new content for our YouTube page. Just to get the word out and showcase the different events
Exactly.
that are around the area. So yeah, we will be there. So
Awesome.
that ought to be fun. And then of course, you can get on the Zoom call for the chamber for the small business right after. So it's a business day on Thursday. That ought to be fun though. The amphitheater is a great venue, and I'm looking forward to being there. I've never been there.
I've never been there either, so kind of excited. That's going to be fun.
Good. All right. What else we got going on?
What else we got? Saturday the 14th, there are a couple of things. So one is Lit New Haven. That's Kebra.
Oh, yay.
She's got her job fair for the dispensary that will be opening. I believe her anticipated open date is in November. So the Lit New Haven job fair is happening at 169 East Street in New Haven from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And you can send your resume to her in advance. All the information is available online, on her socials and websites and things like that. But something to just kind of, jot down in your save the date book, 169 East Street, noon to 2. So anybody that's interested in getting in the cannabis industry, I think the way they phrased it, if you are passionate about the cannabis industry, if you've been affected by the war on drugs, if it's something that you've done in the past, they absolutely want to talk to you. So good opportunity to network and throw your resume in there.
There you go. Anybody looking for a job in the industry, I can vouch for Kebra. I have been in business with her and worked with her.
You may or may not know her,
Yeah, she's very, very good at what she does, and she would be an awesome person to work for. So yeah, that is the 14th if you're looking for a job.
Yes. What else we got? Also on the 14th, this one's a little bit outside of Connecticut, but not far. So Hi Beautiful Social is doing a series of puff and pour events. So on Saturday the 14th, they're going to be doing a puff and pour brunch. It's in Newport, Rhode Island, and it's going to come with an infused tasting. They have someone there doing permanent jewelry, karaoke, raffle, gifts. So it looks like a really good time. Tickets are available there, so you can check out Hi Beautiful Social on Instagram and reserve your spot. So Eve was kind of letting people know that that's
Shout
going
out
on.
to
So
Eve.
not too far.
I can tell you one thing about
We
Eve's
love
events.
Eve, man. They're
Yeah, they're
amazing,
always
Joe.
great. They're always great. So if you're around that, or if you have time, you want to take a nice ride up to Rhode Island, I can tell you, and Lou just said the same thing. We've done events with Eve as well, and she always puts on a top-notch #1 event. I'm sure it'll be a great time. So check that out.
Yeah.
Hi Beautiful. Shout out to Eve at Hi Beautiful.
Trying to think
All right, what else
else?
you got going?
The last one I've got is on Sunday the 15th, Salt and Oil Yoga is doing another one of their Canna yoga events. So Salt and Oil, we had her on the show and they
Oh, yes.
move locations. Yeah. So, it's never static. This time it's going to be happening in Milford at the Woods at Red Root Farm. From 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock. So again, tickets available. You can go to Salt and Oil Yoga either on social media or their website. The links are available. Reserve your spot. Looks like
I
a
may
really
try to
good
make that
time.
one. I'm not that
Yeah.
far from Milford, so and that's my stomping grounds. So I may
Yeah.
try to make that out there. That ought to be great. I got one for the 20th, which is the
Perfect.
Food and Arts Fest. Again, Greenhaven Meeting, Cannabis Corner will be there. We will be shooting interviews, the same thing, doing footage. I don't know if you've checked out our YouTube page, but we always do a little piece on the event. Ryan comes to the event, shoots some footage, we do interviews, and then we edit it together and put a little piece together. We'll be doing that again. This is a Food and Arts Fest, and they are also doing a contest there, where you win a prize, an edible contest. So if you want to submit edibles for judging, that will be taking place. That is the 20th. It's from 4 to 9. And, it's in Shelton. So that's going to be fun. And the band is actually Hannah's Field. Very popular band.
Oh,
Good
no
band.
kidding. Oh, I love
Yeah.
them.
So, I mean, if you got nothing to do on the 20th, come on down, check us out. We'll be hanging out, at least. And, sit down and shoot a little interview with me. So, and hopefully you guys can make it too. But yeah, so that's what I got. And that's good enough. We went into the 20th.
That's more than enough for people to throw in their calendar, and we'll bring you more next week. Yeah,
And
right on.
as they come up, we always share them on our social media. So make sure you follow us on everything. And I do want to, before we bring our guest on, remind everybody that we have launched our new forum. It is a public forum right now where you can join. Okay, just till the end of the month. So if you want to go join our community on Greenhaven Media, where you can post and talk to anybody in the community in a more private area. Once we have the open registration, we're going to make it a really private members only group where you have to be invited to join. It's no charge for it. It's a free group. But what we're trying to do is really create a community online where people can directly communicate without a middleman. So we don't need Mark Zuckerberg knowing what we do, even Elon Musk. We don't, it's better to be able to talk to each other one-on-one. We can discuss strategies, for activism, things like that. So it's greenhavenmedia.com. You hit the Haven. It's called the Haven. And it's brand new. We just opened it up. We have a few members now, but we'd love to get more. And at the end of the month, we're going to make it private. So it's invite only. So get in now, become a founding member. That way you can invite other people in who you choose. And we can really build this community out for us as a place where we can go, feel safe to talk and do what we need to do. So greenhavenmedia.com, go to the Haven. All right. Very, very good. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you for all that. And let's get on to our guest. Right now, we have with us Andy Werner of Werner's Best. And Werner's Best is a Connecticut-based CBD company and brand with a brick-and-mortar retail store in Avon, Connecticut. They've been in business since 2018, and their mission is to provide CBD and cannabis education through their website, the events they exhibit at, and through the CBD products that they make. They make high-quality CBD products using only the finest organic hemp available and do so at the most reasonable price possible. What sets us apart from the rest is our belief in the custom cannabinoid profiles we use to build products that are targeted towards day or night, mood support, or inflammation. Education is a very important part of our mission. It is our goal to become the CBD brand of choice in the Northeast. In September 2023, we entered the Massachusetts adult use cannabis market and stayed true to the belief that custom minor cannabinoid profiles should be an important part of the cannabis experience. To that end, all of our cannabis products have a unique and measurable percentage of CBD, CBG, and other cannabinoids in addition to THC. Welcome, Mark. How are you today?
Andy.
Sorry.
That's all right, Joe.
He
How you
announced you
doing?
right and then said the wrong thing.
Boy, did I do good on that intro, too. I'll tell you.
No, you
That
did
was a
great,
long
Joe.
one, but it was a bit. I very much apologies to that. But my head's a little bit. I'm just coming back from New York. But
Quite all right.
anyway, 2018, you started the company. I guess probably when the Farm Bill was passed, right? And cannabis became legal. What made you decide to get into the CBD and hemp industry? Had you been doing things prior to that? Kind of been involved in it in other ways, or was it just something that was a passion of yours?
Yeah, so for me, my father was diagnosed with COPD in early, 2010 or so, and things got really bad for him in 2017, early 2017. And as we, worked with him and tried to get help for him, one of the things that came up periodically was medical marijuana. And he was living on his own, far from family. So for him, that was always, I'll consider it later, maybe later on, but not yet. And then, if you remember correctly, back at that time, CBD started making a lot of noise in the media.
Yes.
And on one of my visits out west where he lived, I basically said, well, would you consider trying this CBD because it's non-intoxicating. If your neighbor pops in real quick, you're not going to be intoxicated. You'll be able to be comfortable with them, etc. So ultimately, he did accept the offer, and we went and purchased 2 tinctures. I swear to God, to this day, I wish I knew what I actually bought him. But they were CBD. One was for the daytime for the mood support and pain, and the other one was for sleep. And for him, that was a tremendous relief. He got off the OxyContin. He got down to a normal amount of Tylenol with codeine. I mean, he was up to 6 to 8 pills a day. When hospice ultimately got involved, they were pretty impressed with, his general condition and the fact that he basically refused the morphine to the tune that they actually called me at one point and said, hey, we're not allowed to hand him the bottles, but this is really amazing for us to see what's happening with him. So that kind of convinced me to, look into, this whole cannabis CBD space again. I was a user when I was a youth. And I enjoyed it tremendously, like most people do, and whatnot. But this was a big reintroduction, if you will. And I was looking at the time, I had another company that did quite well, and I was looking at the time for some sort of an investment opportunity, and that was my initial plan, was to see how I can invest to get involved. And I went to, I don't know, 2 or 3 MJ Biz conferences out in Las Vegas. and did a lot of wandering around, and ultimately decided to start a brand of my own. And it's been a relatively good experience up until the last 2 years.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, the state of Connecticut has changed, the long-term plan a little bit, which may ultimately be for the better for me, personally, but it's horrible for, the CBD industry here in Connecticut. Literally, we were about to open 2 other stores in the state when that first round of legislation in 23 came along, that just absolutely, there was like no
Yeah.
way I was going to go make that kind of an investment at
You had to
that time.
reformulate all your products, right? And
Well,
bottle and do.
yeah, I mean, we went out and got our manufacturing license after, selling, white label for a year. And so, we've learned along the way, doing a lot of research, talking with different people, and coming up with formulations that have, caught people's attention and appeal and work. And now we've had to reformulate all that. We've lost probably at this point about 50 to 60% of our original customer base because the THC component has become so small that they just don't get what they used to get out of the products.
Right. I was going to say that, it was a big hit for businesses, but people don't realize a big hit for people who are patients, who are depending on that
Correct.
and that specific strength and that specific formulation, because it was very uniform and regular. They knew when they bought your brand that they got a certain feeling from it, right? And they liked it and they'd come back. And then the next time they come back, all of a sudden, not the same feeling.
Correct. I mean, ultimately, I get the motivations of the state to some extent on what they're doing and why they're doing what they wanted to do. But in the end, the reality is that, they've gone so far down that negative road that, that restrictive road that, we've lost a massive amount of our customers. And, a majority of what we sell, I mean, we only had 3 SKUs that were legitimately, capable of intoxicating people. And, they only made up maybe 25% of our customer base.
And that was what, the Delta 9
Yeah, those
stuff.
were the stronger gummies that, Connecticut, and I understand their general thinking, but they took
Yeah, with their
away our
wallet.
ability to make capsules and tinctures with, 2 milligrams of THC per serving. And, that's that sweet spot where people are getting good relief, but they're not getting intoxicated.
Right.
And that's not something you can find in your typical dispensary. They just don't offer those kinds of products.
No, and you got a lot of great stuff here. I'm looking at your website. I'm showing it to the audience right now. You got gummies, you got CBD creams, you got water soluble CBD. Now, these are all Connecticut compliant, or how does
Well,
that
on the
work?
website, we do block certain products from sale
I was
in
just about to
Connecticut.
ask that. How do
Yep,
you get, like, obviously you want to sell nationwide,
correct,
but your original products were all state compliant, every state, because they
correct,
met with the federal guidelines.
correct.
Now all of a sudden you got one state that's telling, unless there are others. Are there others?
Oh yeah, there's others.
Oh, okay.
So
So Connecticut's not the only
Connecticut's
one.
not entirely unique. It's a little bit on the aggressive side. So yeah, there's other states that have restrictions and things, and we do our best to stay up on that and
But you
keep the
keep it
products,
federally legal, right at
limited. Oh,
federal,
they're all
so that,
federally legal.
yes.
Absolutely 100%.
And that's the important part, because
And
that's kind of the opposite of cannabis.
correct. I mean, it's a, you know, again, the whole idea behind this venture for me was, I'm getting up there in age, and I'm looking towards semi-retirement and all the rest of this. I've been
Right on.
self-employed my whole life. the plan was to have this generate income as I slowly become less and less involved. And that plan has now been drastically altered, which is ultimately why we found opportunity in Massachusetts to get involved in their adult use cannabis space.
And you're not
And
the only Connecticut person who's done that.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
There are other CBD hemp people out there who decided that doing business with the state of Connecticut. And I think for you, like, you have a nice website, you have a nice online business. Do you make specific now? Do you have to make two different kinds of products now? Do you have to make the ones you sell online? And then if you want to sell in stores in Connecticut, you have to make a completely different product, right?
Right. So, I mean, in Connecticut, right now, like I said, the products that are not Connecticut legal are blocked, so they cannot
You
purchase
can't get
them,
them
period.
online.
They cannot order it, cannot ship it to a Connecticut address. So, everything that's on there that's Connecticut safe is the same way we sell it outside the state, which gives us a big disadvantage, right? So,
Sure, because you're right.
because now I have to make it compliant for Connecticut. I can't afford to do two
Two,
different
right,
3,000 milligram tinctures. I just don't have, I'm not industrial.
right,
I'm a small boutique type manufacturer, so I'm making small batches. I don't make 10,000 of anything at a clip. I make 200 at a clip,
right.
250,
And you
300 at a
already had
clip.
existing stores. You had a brick and mortar of your own. I mean, you probably serviced a few retail outlets. What are you going to do? You have to keep your Connecticut business going.
Yeah, so right now we're actually in the process of looking for a new brick and mortar. We're downsizing. And we've got a few leads. We're trying to stay in the general area where we've built our, customer base.
Right.
And that's it's been challenging. And as this industry shakes out, hopefully we'll be able to continue to grow outside the state. I do a lot of events.
Well,
I'm
that's where
looking at,
we linked up again. I know we've met prior, but we linked up again at that event we were
yeah,
talking about at the beginning of the show, the Canterbury Connect.
right. So we're going, I mean, we've been doing these events between Boston and Philadelphia. That's been our primary active marketing area. And we're going to be adding Florida to that mix. So we're going to be going down to Florida and doing events down there. And we're going to start moving into some of these other places that are a little bit friendlier, and try to build an online business for them, and hopefully find a few good retail partners as well in that journey, so that we can have on-site brick and mortar locations to support local communities. And I
Right.
think that's the key. That's how we've gotten this far. I find it amazing. I still go to like an event like the Corn and Potato Festival down in Basra, uh, and people walk up to me and say, "Yeah, I ran into you up in Boston, or I ran up into you, down in Rhode Island, and
Right.
I want to get another one of those pain creams because I can't find anything else like it anywhere else." I'm like, and that's what I like to hear. That makes me very, very happy, to hear people enjoy the products and whatnot. And we were just
Yeah.
down in Rhode Island at Rhythm and Roots, big music festival. And
So non-cannabis themed events.
oh yeah, no, it's just a big music
Yeah.
festival, wonderful event. And we've been doing it for 6 years now.
So see, that's
And
how you expand your base is get into these non-cannabis events.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of where we're looking, and that's what we want to do in Florida, is focus on education in the public. I mean, I had a customer there who bought stuff for their dog who is old and has stomach cancer, and we sold them one of our human strength CBD CBG tinctures. because the pet was suffering and mood support issues. And these people decided to pay for a ticket to Rhythm and Roots because we had told them we were going to be there. They purchased from us in the summer at a big food truck festival down in Rhode Island. And they purchased a ticket for a festival, not cheap, to come just to tell us how well their dog is doing. I was like, you're kidding me. Why didn't you
Wow.
just send me an email?
Email.
You know,
No, because they
no,
wanted to do it in person.
yep,
That shows the strength. And you mentioned something very important uh about the CBD, the CBG, and it's in, you're very big on the cannabinoid profile of your products. So it's not just a CBD, complete full CBD. It is formulated with specific levels of specific cannabinoids to give a specific effect. And I think that is what is going to set apart CBD products. It's going to help take it to another level from where it started, from where you just started.
agreed.
And that's due to research, that's due to education, and that's due to it being legal now, so we can research it because you and I both know we've both been in this from the start. In the beginning, it was just CBD. It's either full spectrum or broad spectrum. Here's what you get, you know. And then now, as the years have gone by, you see many more of these balanced tinctures because now we know what each cannabinoid, what receptors they actually affect. And so it's become a science, and I think that's what's going to help CBD stay as a medicine and stay as a mainstay. If we can take those kind of steps forward like that, and I give you a lot of credit for doing that. And that was one thing that I was impressed with when I saw your THC products that you're selling in the dispensaries, and I wanted to get into that now. You probably had a choice at one point when Connecticut did change the laws to formulate your products so they could be sold in dispensaries, right? Because I don't know if a lot of people know, part of what Connecticut wanted to do was really take the CBD products out of the gas stations, out of the smoke shops, and put it in the dispensaries' hands. Whether it was manufactured by them or not, they do allow outside manufacturers to come in as long as they fit with the Connecticut, the definition of the dispensary stuff, which is different than the mainstream stuff. You had a choice, right? You probably could have said, well, maybe I could try and sell in the Connecticut dispensaries, or maybe I could take a shot at mass. What was your deciding factor there?
Well, there were a couple of different things that kind of came into play at the same time. You know, at the time, the Connecticut path into the dispensaries was very poorly defined and difficult to figure out, and there wasn't anybody good and easy to speak to directly to say definitively do A, B, and C, and you're good to go. So I kind of put that on the back burner. Opportunity presented itself in Massachusetts. So we decided to, and that opportunity presented itself because of how we do the CBD products. They asked us specifically to formulate cannabis products with similar, philosophical background. And so I was like, okay, what's going on in the market. So we looked at cannabis menus of a bunch of dispensaries, about a dozen or so, and we noticed very, very quickly that, out of 250 SKUs, with the edibles being the exception, almost no products had any representation of CBD or CBG beyond a legitimate trace element that might have been natural to the strain. So we felt that there's a hole, or there's a gap in the offering. Again, I'm an older person. I'm not interested in the strongest, flower that's on the market. That's too much for me.
Right.
I don't enjoy it, and you know, I'm looking for something that's going to be more comfortable for me, and those offerings are very few.
Yes, I
So
agree.
so one of the things that we, you know, discussed as we put this program together was introducing vapes in particular is where we started, and we're going to expand on that over time. But, you know, taking that vape that right now comes as an 80, 85, 88% THC cartridge or disposable and introducing, say, 40% CBD or 20% CBD and 20% CBG into it. So we've built these carts with targeted effects to match the strain, right? So the strains are going to be providing the terpene profiles. So if you
Right.
have a nice indica, you want to have a cart that's going to match up with an indica type effect. So my carts are all going to provide at least 10% of a minor cannabinoid profile up to in that 40% range.
Right. Right.
Um,
I had the pleasure of sampling a couple of your products. Very, very good. I really like the effect, and I've always said that there is a lack of CBD THC combination products because that's how you get the real medicine when you combine the cannabinoids together in the marketplace. So and it was like you said, it was because you had tried it out with your CBD products first. So there you go. So now, and they're very good, and they're only available in Massachusetts, though, right?
That's correct. So they're 100% Massachusetts approved through their CCC. I personally am just you know, the guy, the designer behind the formulations. We have to contract out to have them made for us, etc. I can't transport them. I
You'd
can't
have
sell
to
them.
open up a place in Massachusetts.
Well, I have a small stake in a small dispensary, which is where some of this opportunity has come from. But you know, as we grow, right now we're only in 4 dispensaries. You know, by the end of this year, by Christmas time, we're hoping and expecting to be on about 15 menus. At that point, that'll give us a little bit more flexibility in terms of, you know, long-term planning of the business side of things, right? Makes it a little bit smoother. Right now, we're very reactionary,
Right.
meaning, you know, as inventory gets low, we have to go out and get ready to run another batch. But you know, in the end, it's an experience that I think is catching on. Every dispensary that the products have been in has been extremely satisfied. Their customers are coming back and enjoying the products. Their repeat business is up. So it's not a one and I'll never touch it again because I have 85 other carts to sample. So they do like them, and
Well,
they
they're
do come back
different.
for them.
They're different. Tell us a little bit about the strains that you have and about the different carts. I know you have about 4 or 5 different ones.
Yeah, so right now our best-selling card is actually the lowest THC of the bunch. It's coming in just around 45% on the THC, and the balance of that is going to be a 50-50 split between CBD and CBG, and the strain is Orange Creamsicle. It is
Mm,
absolutely
it was good. I tried
a
it.
wonderful, wonderful cart. I like it a real lot. I'm more sativa oriented. This is more of a sativa hybrid.
Yeah, me too.
And this one sells out faster than the other three. That's our low THC sativa. We have a low THC indica that's called Dabalicious is the strain. So again, we're down in that 50%, 55% on the THC. We have a good 10% on the CBN in there, 20% or so on the CBD, a dash of CBG and CBC. So I mean, it's
So
a
you really got
well-rounded
a
part.
major
And then we
cannabinoid
do
profile.
a higher THC version of the indica and sativa as well. And the THC percentage on those is going to be just over that 70% mark. So we're talking, you know, 72, 74%. and those have about 10-11% on the minors. So again, the sativa is going to have a CBG emphasis, and the indica is going to be a CBD, CBN emphasis. They're all 1 gram carts. And again, they sell well in the 4 dispensaries we're in. We're negotiating with 3 other places right now. So hopefully by the end of September, we're going to have 7 or so menus. We'll be halfway to our end of year goal.
I did take a look for them up in the dispensary I went to in Massachusetts this week, and they weren't there. But I didn't have great odds, right?
No, unfortunately, we haven't really done a lot of direct to consumer marketing yet, because it's still so spread out that it's not easy to do that. But once we have a couple of pockets where we have 3 or 4 dispensaries within a small area, we will be doing some, more direct consumer oriented marketing or promotions that can be run to pull people to those specific dispensaries that have given us a chance and like what we're doing.
Well, do you want to shout out any of them,
I'll shout them all out right
shout out
now.
the dispensaries you're in? Let's hear them.
So we're in the Berkshires. The dispensary is called Himalayan High.
There you go.
In a town called Beckett, which is literally the intersection of Route 8. Yep, that's the one that starts here in Connecticut and goes straight north till it runs smack into Route 20. So,
and just know, if you do go out there, you're also supporting another fellow Connecticut resident who decided to do the same thing you did. So it's great that you guys paired up.
Yep. So that's our support dispensary. That's where we're getting all of our distribution from. And that was a great collaboration. Well, it still is a great collaboration. We're also in a dispensary in Webster and Worcester called The Vault.
Okay.
So The Vault has 2 locations. We started with them in January in Webster, and they sold out in, I think it was 2 weeks, and doubled their order and sold that one out in 4 weeks, and basically have been a great distribution point for us since then. They're greatly looking forward to our next SKUs. And because of the success of the carts in the Webster location, they've put us into their second location in Worcester. So that's the Vault. And then we recently got into a dispensary in Shirley, Mass called Boomex.
Okay.
And I was just up in Shirley with them visiting, and they're also, absolutely ecstatic about the carts. And are eagerly awaiting the next SKUs that are coming out sometime in the next near future.
Great. So all right. So it's a great start with great response, and some of them are not far from the Connecticut border. But anyway, so is it out there as Warner's Best, or is it a different brand name out there in the dispensaries?
Nope, up in Massachusetts, it is still Warner's Best. That's one of those little details I think we got to figure out here in Connecticut. Once we reach a certain level of success in Massachusetts, we will actively turn around and look for the ability to duplicate that here in Connecticut and maybe in Rhode Island, and kind of maybe spread that out to other states. But I think we want to first establish that this product, concept actually has enough legs to convince others that this is worth pursuing and adding to their menus. The challenge, literally, it's a hard one, is everybody gives you the head nod when you talk to them about it, but to get them and the people that write the checks to
all
make
agree,
the commitment to put it on the menu in the dispensary, that's where the disconnect kind of comes in. They all acknowledge that the cannabinoids are valuable and important, and the entourage effect is real, etc. But getting that last little hurdle is a little bit more challenging than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's part of what you said earlier. Connecticut just has to figure out the structure to be able to do that, because I know there are people who would probably be willing to partner up with you here in Connecticut, but they're also in the same boat. They don't know how the state's going to structure,
No.
you doing a deal with them or whatever. But yeah, no, I think it would be great. And I know that down here in Connecticut, I would love personally to have these products in dispensaries. So, you never know. You never know.
We'll get there. It's, we're
Yeah,
we're
we're a little
patient.
behind here. Let's be real.
We're patient, but at the same time, we're looking at this as a way of supplementing the CBD business.
Yep.
And at some point, the CBD business will be the little brother of the cannabis side of what we're doing. We do intend to continue down this road with the cannabinoid profiles, the ratioed carts. We've already had one of those dispensaries up in Mass ask us specifically about our CBD products, which unfortunately I can't enter into the dispensary system in Mass at this point because of the way the rules are set up in Massachusetts, but we'll
You have to
find a
make them
way
there,
around
right?
that eventually as well, in how to comply with that. Again, and that's a scale issue more than anything, doesn't make sense to make 200 products for a couple of little spots. Now your cost per unit for the lab testing makes them unattractive price.
Yeah, you can't sell them at the right price to make it attractive to people. So, all right. So we're getting close to our time here. So I wanted to give you a chance to give out not only your brick and mortar location, but your website, your social media, how they can get in touch with you and find out more about your CBD products. Or if anybody is listening from Massachusetts who might want to license the carts, right?
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you, Joe. So the website is warnersbest.com. You've probably heard us on the radio. Warnersbest.com.
That's right. You have radio advertisements.
Yeah,
That's
we've
right.
done radio advertising in the past. So warnersbest.com is the website. Just be aware, if you are in Connecticut, there are a bunch of products that are on the website that you cannot actually fulfill the order from. But there's plenty of products on there that you can. You can also visit us at our store in Avon, Connecticut, 304 West Main Street, also known as Route 44. We'll be staying in the general Farmington Valley area. We just don't know where that transition is going to take us. In Massachusetts, we will be in Himalayan High in Beckett. We're in the Vault in Webster. We're in the Vault in Worcester, and we're at BoomX in Shirley, Mass. Those are our cannabis carts that are blended with the CBD and the CBG. If you've never tried anything like that, I would encourage you to, go visit somebody in Massachusetts, buy one, consume up there, of course, right?
Yes, of course.
And figure out why, having a cart with good amount of CBD or CBG is so interesting as opposed to one that's just THC.
Yeah, I can attest to that. They were very, very good. I've never tasted a cart like it. So kudos to you, Mike, Andy. So yeah, I did it again. Kudos to you for what you've done. You took a sour situation in Connecticut.
Yeah.
You took it, made lemonade out of it, and now you're headed into a whole new direction. Congratulations. And we look forward to seeing not only your products, your THC products down here in Connecticut, but to seeing more of the great stuff you're going to be experimenting with the CBD, because as you know, there's now new cannabinoids.
I hear you.
CBM. You're welcome, Andy. Thank you so much for coming on. And again, that's Werner's Best. You can find it at Himalayan High, the Vault, and the last one I forgot.
BoomX.
BoomX. All right. Andy, thanks again for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Kristen, Lou, any last words?
Have a great day. Short and sweet.
Lou? He says, stay happy, healthy, and high. All right. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Remember, you can join the new forum, the Haven. Go to greenhavenmedia.com. Sign up now while it's still public. You can be one of the founding members. It would be private at the end of the month, and you'll have to be invite only. All right. And also, greenhavenmedia.com, at Greenhaven Media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Joe the Weed Guy. We'll see you all next week. Harry, hit that music.
Bye, Andy.
Take care, Andy. I love you all.